job. I would now like to introduce the president of the class of 2013, Miss Kaila Cantens.
Family, friends, teachers, administrators, school board members, and members of the audience. Thank you for all of your support over the past few years. We couldn't have done it without you. I would also like to thank our officers and our class advisor, Mrs. Jennifer Bott, for all of their hard work and their consideration. I would also like to give a personal thanks to Mr. Thomas Kernis, Mr. Lowenberg, Madam Verway, Mrs. Bott, and Mrs. Euler for always guiding me in the right path and helping me through my struggles these past years. The importance of graduating high school is too great to fathom. In the US, only 69% of teens receive a high school diploma. In developing countries, less than half are even lucky enough to attend high school, let alone graduate. The opportunity and privilege that we have been given is something we truly should be thankful for. So congratulations, you made it. I realize for many seniors, the start of their Stroudsburg journey began at one of the many neighboring elementary schools. I wish I could speak about their experiences as a class since then, but unfortunately, I moved here in the 8th grade from Miami, Florida. And even though Miami is considered one of the most cosmopolitan and multicultural cities in the world, over the last couple years, I realized that Stroudsburg and its community grew as the place I call home. I believe that Stroudsburg led me to incredible friends, teachers, coaches, trainers, advisors, and around here, construction workers. But most importantly, Stroudsburg gave me the opportunity to grow in maturity, intelligence, and character. I will begin a recap of our journey in the junior high, where all of our school dances featured performances from Stroudsburg's one and only Brad Rockanova, where we only needed 4 minutes to get to class instead of 15, and where the most feared class was Miss Cicerone's Honors English. Yes, little did we know that Mrs. Coleman's math class would make 9th grade English class look like cake. Those of you who were present know, 8th grade was the year field trips were taken away and dress code was put in place. Maybe I was the bearer of bad luck, but if that's the case, I imagine you forgave me since it was you who gave me this honor of being your class president. Junior high became senior high. One major difference I believe we all noticed was gym makeups. Instead of, as Mr. David Hakem would say, finessing a worksheet about sports, we had to stay after school and actually work for it. Running a mile, doing 40 push-ups and 40 sit-ups a day. Well, as seniors, we would lay down, and as Fed Amy would put it, start horizontal running. Not only did our curriculum change, but so did our teachers and other staff members. The Master of English Electives, Mr. Matt Sabrinsky, is famous for incorporating fun and engaging activities that everyone loves and participates in. If one is more interested in animals, Pennsylvania critters can always be found in Mrs. Euler's room. from goats to great horned owls to descented skunks. She was the teacher you wanted to meet. However, if all you wanted was to get a taste of a little culture, head over to the foreign language department. When in pain, you can always get ice from the nurse's office. But if all else fails, one can find the meaning of life in the library. Our class is exceptional and a class of firsts. All of our sports teams showed improvement and greatness. 12 of our teams, as Mr. Sodal previously said, won MVC championships this year. Donovan Clay Donovan Clay even led Stroudsburg's track and field team to a first place win at the state competition for high jump. Throughout the chaos of construction, our class has seen completely new buildings and different routes to class almost every single semester. Instead of looking at this disruption negatively, we considered this an opportunity to become closer and an opportunity for excitement. We revolutionized the King of Hearts Pep Assembly. It was the first ever King of Hearts Assembly where candidates worked together and performed as a group in each other's skits instead of separating themselves in competition. As teachers began molding us into virtuous citizens of the world, we began to find ourselves for who we truly are. Abby Hatch baked cookies for the whole student body. Keote Alder could make any girl feel special. Kathy Cruz unleashed the sassy within. And if you stepped out of line, Abby Green will make sure to put you back in place. The point is that every single one of you is unique in your own way. Even in uniqueness, we always stayed together as the class of 2013. We bonded and created many memories that will never be forgotten. The bitter truth is, tonight is the last time we will be together. Tomorrow, we turn to the next chapter of our lives. Whether it's college, or the military, or a career, we will meet new people and have new experiences. But never forget that we were simply the best. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to introduce the valedictorian for the class of 2013. She'll be attending Shippensburg University on a full academic scholarship. Our valedictorian is Miss Caitlin Fry.
Welcome, family, faculty, friends, administration, and of course, class of 2013 Stroudsburg High School graduates. I'd like to take a minute to congratulate you all and thank everyone here that has played a part in helping us reach this point in our lives. Without your help and support, we wouldn't be here today. I figured standing up here today, I somehow managed to embarrass myself. So I decided to embrace it and go down willingly. If there's one thing that I've learned over the past few years, is that the best lessons come from life. So I'm going to share a personal experience with you, and I hope that you guys leave here today having gained something. Leading up to graduation, there are numerous milestones that we all go through. The one that I'm going to talk about is the momentous occasion of taking your driver's test. Most of us sitting here today have gone through it. You sit there in line at the DMV for what seems like eternity, hands sweating, heart pounding, driving yourself crazy going over the mental checklist of all the things you need to remember. On the day of my test, despite the butterflies in my stomach, I couldn't help but be a little excited. I mean, who wouldn't be? I remember thinking, don't worry, you got this. But just a little hint, I definitely didn't got this. The mistake I made was slightly more severe than forgetting a turn signal. I managed to drive the whole 50 feet to the parallel parking cones before disaster struck. Surprisingly, I was able to back in just fine. It was the whole getting back out that proved to be a challenge. Somehow, I got the car into a position where I couldn't move it forward without hitting the cones or backwards without running it up onto the curb. Knowing it was a hopeless case, I told the instructor I was stuck. She looked at me and gave me the old, "This is your test, I can't help you." So naturally, I did the only logical thing. I put the car in reverse and floored it. Just a little advice, when you get the urge to put your car in reverse and floor it, don't. Long story short, we ended up having to call a tow truck to get the car up off the curb.
That's awesome.
As you can imagine, having that conversation with my parents went a little differently than telling them I would be lucky enough to have this opportunity here today. In sharing this rather embarrassing story with you, I hope that it has made you realize at least two things. One, that nobody is good at everything. I may have been able to get decent grades in high school, but I would not be able to parallel park a car if my life depended on it. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, and the important thing is to recognize what they are. When we build our lives accordingly, we are then able to embrace the things that we are good at and grow from those that we are not. And two, go through life with a sense of humor, because it will most certainly have a sense of humor towards you. Be able to laugh at yourself. We've all heard the saying that laughter is the best medicine, and I can't think of anything more true. When you find yourself having a bad day, stop what you're doing, smile, and remember that life is something beautiful and worth enjoying. And maybe at some point, that crappy moment will turn out to be a pretty awesome story. Earlier in the year, I was lucky enough to be a member of the PMEA Region 5 band. We had a really cool guy as our conductor, and while I was there, something he said struck a chord. After hours upon hours of rehearsing, he stopped for a second, looked at us, and asked a very important question. Why are you here? We were kind of taken aback at first and gave each other sideways glances, wondering if he was serious or if all the jumping around on the podium finally made him lose his mind. Then he repeated the question. No, seriously. What's the point? Why are you here? We've been rehearsing for hours. You're clearly exhausted, hungry, sore, and all I've done the past few days is criticize you. So let me ask you again, why are you here? And then he began to explain himself by saying, not one of you goes through all this for an hour-long concert that only your parents will listen to. Not one of you works as hard as you do to get as good as you are without a reason. It takes an internal motivation, a motivation that stems from passion, which I can see exuding from each and every one of you here before me. I'm sure at some point in your high school career you thought something along those same lines of, why am I here right now? Especially this past month. Yet here we all sit. We've made it, and that passion is something that each of us possesses. No matter how different we all may have seemed at times, high school has been a journey that we made together, and each of us has an underlying passion that has helped us get through. Whether it be for sports, art, music, or any other activity that you love, we are all connected through the drive it gives to us. As you walk across the stage today, I hope you remember this feeling. Hard work really does pay off, and having passion gives you the strength to get through anything. As we begin the next step of our lives, make sure to hold on tight to the things that give life purpose and joy. Once again, I'd like to congratulate you all. We started from the bottom, and now we're here. So let's take the rest of the night to celebrate and enjoy our moment.